After breaking up with MJ, Peter Parker was trying to clear his head the only way he knew how, by swinging through New York as Spider-Man. But in the middle of a swing, something went horribly wrong. His web shooters suddenly stopped working. Peter dropped out of the sky. He quickly pulled off his mask and tried firing another web. Nothing. He tried climbing a wall with his bare hands. He couldn't do it. That's when Peter realized he was losing his powers. The next day, Peter went to the hospital for a full checkup, and the results made no sense. There was nothing physically wrong with him. His body was completely healthy. The problem was all in his head. Peter had been under so much emotional stress that his powers had temporarily disappeared. So he made a decision. He was done being Spider-Man, and at first, it actually worked. Peter's confidence came back, his grades improved, his life finally started feeling normal. But while Peter was getting his life together, New York was falling apart. With Spider-Man gone, crime started spreading across the city. Then, one day, Peter saw an apartment building engulfed in flames. People were trapped inside. Peter wanted to help, but he had no powers. Still, he went in. He managed to save a little kid, but firefighters later told him that several people didn't make it out. Peter couldn't stop thinking about it. Maybe if Spider-Man had been there, they would have survived. That's when Peter realized something. Being Spider-Man wasn't just about having powers. It was about choosing to help when nobody else could. But before Peter could figure out what to do next, Dr. Octavius made his move. Doc Ock needed the remaining tritium to finish his fusion experiment, and Harry had it. Harry agreed to give him the tritium, but only if Doc Ock brought him Spider-Man. So Doc Ock went after Peter. He grabbed him, slammed him against a wall, and took MJ hostage. Peter was terrified, not for himself, for MJ. And suddenly, his powers came back. Peter rushed to the newspaper office, grabbed his old Spider-Man suit, and put it back on. Spider-Man was back. He chased Doc Ock all the way to a clock tower, but Peter was still getting used to his powers again. Doc Ock overwhelmed him and threw him from the tower. Peter barely survived by grabbing a massive clock hand. Then, he turned it into a weapon. The fight continued, and eventually landed on a speeding train. Peter started overpowering Doc Ock, so Doc Ock changed tactics. He threw passengers off the train, forcing Peter to save them. And while Peter was busy, Doc Ock reached the front. He pushed the throttle to maximum, then destroyed the brakes. The train was now completely out of control. Peter looked ahead. There was no way to stop it, except one, himself. He fired webs from both sides of the train and pulled. The force was insane. His suit started ripping apart. His body was giving out, but Peter kept pulling. The tracks ahead were breaking apart. The train was seconds away from disaster. Peter screamed and used every ounce of strength he had left, and finally, the train stopped. Peter collapsed, but when he opened his eyes, every passenger was staring at him. They weren't looking at a masked superhero anymore. They were looking at a hero who had just saved their lives. But Peter's biggest problem was still waiting for him. Doc Ock returned and took Peter with him. Later, Harry finally gave Doc Ock the tritium. Then Harry picked up Spider-Man's mask and pulled it off. He froze, because underneath that mask wasn't Spider-Man, it was his best friend, Peter Parker.